Hi, welcome to Insibook. Do you know that most of us try to squeeze more into our day by managing time? But what if we've been doing it wrong all along? In The Power of Full Engagement, Jim Loehr and Tony Schwartz reveal a game-changing truth. Peak performance and true fulfillment come from managing energy, not time. So in this video, I'm going to break down the key principles of this book and show you how to manage your energy across 4 dimensions: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, to achieve more while feeling less stressed and more alive. Let's dive in. We often operate under the illusion that managing our time is the key to achieving more, performing better, and living a fulfilling life. We meticulously schedule, prioritize tasks, and strive to cram more into every hour, believing that efficiency is the ultimate goal. Yet, despite our best efforts, we frequently find ourselves exhausted, overwhelmed, and running on fumes. We feel busy, perhaps even productive in a frantic sort of way, but rarely truly engaged or deeply satisfied. This constant state of depletion, this chronic shortage of vitality, points to a fundamental misunderstanding of what truly drives performance and well-being. The truth is, time is finite and fixed. No amount of clever management can create more hours in the day. What can be changed, however, is the quality of the energy we bring to the time we have. This is the central revelation. The highest performers, the most resilient individuals, the people who achieve the most with the least amount of stress, don't manage their time. They manage their energy. Think about the sheer volume of demands placed upon you daily. Emails flood in, messages ping relentlessly, deadlines loom, personal responsibilities beckon, and the sheer pace of modern life seems designed to keep us perpetually rushing. We respond to emails late at night, take calls during meals, and squeeze workouts into brief, frantic bursts between meetings. We push ourselves relentlessly, fueled by caffeine and sheer willpower, mistaking exhaustion for dedication. This relentless pace, this continuous expenditure without sufficient renewal, systematically drains us. We experience this depletion not just as physical tiredness, but also as emotional volatility, irritability, frustration, or a pervasive sense of discouragement. It manifests as mental fog, difficulty concentrating, and poor decision-making. Ultimately, it erodes our spiritual vitality, leaving us feeling disconnected from our purpose, our passions, and even ourselves. We become reactive rather than proactive, running on empty, simply trying to survive the day rather than thrive. This isn't a sustainable path to high performance. It's a recipe for burnout, diminished capacity, and ultimately, a life lived far below its potential. The core problem isn't a lack of time. It's a deficit in the essential fuel required to make the most of the time we have. The paradigm shift required is moving from managing time to managing energy. This isn't merely a semantic change. It's a fundamental reorientation of how we approach our lives and work. While time is external and cannot be expanded, energy is internal and can be systematically cultivated and renewed. We possess 4 distinct yet interconnected sources of energy: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. High performance, sustained productivity, and overall well-being depend on our ability to manage and build capacity across all 4 dimensions. Neglecting any one area creates a bottleneck, limiting our ability to perform at our best. Just as a race car needs not only a powerful engine, physical, but also a skilled driver capable of focus, mental, resilience under pressure, emotional, and a clear destination, spiritual, so too do we need to attend to all aspects of our energy. High engagement isn't about working longer hours. It's about working with greater intensity, focus, and purpose during the time we dedicate to work, and recovering effectively afterwards. Let's delve into these 4 critical dimensions of energy. First, physical energy. This is the most fundamental source. Our bodies are complex, high-performance machines, and like any sophisticated engine, they require the right fuel, regular maintenance, and periods of rest to operate optimally. High performers understand this intuitively. They treat their bodies with respect, recognizing that physical vitality is the bedrock upon which emotional resilience, mental clarity, and spiritual strength are built. This means prioritizing sufficient, high-quality sleep, the ultimate restorative process. It means fueling the body with nutritious food that provides sustained energy rather than quick bursts, followed by crashes. It involves regular physical activity that builds endurance and strengthens the body's capacity to handle stress. Crucially, it also means building in strategic periods of recovery throughout the day, not just at night. Think of elite athletes. They train intensely, but they also schedule rigorous recovery protocols. We need to adopt a similar approach, recognizing that pushing our physical limits without adequate refueling and rest leads to diminishing returns and eventual breakdown. Without sufficient physical energy, our capacity in the other three areas suffers dramatically. Next, we must address emotional energy. Our emotions have a profound impact on our ability to focus, connect, and perform. Positive emotions like enthusiasm, confidence, and connection broaden our perspective and build our capacity. Negative emotions like frustration, anxiety, and resentment narrow our focus, deplete our willpower, and sabotage our efforts. The key here is emotional self-awareness, recognizing our emotional states as they arise, and emotional self-regulation, the ability to manage our responses rather than being controlled by them. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather acknowledging them, understanding their triggers, and choosing constructive responses. Cultivating positive emotional experiences is vital. This involves nurturing positive relationships, expressing gratitude, practicing self-compassion, and finding ways to experience joy and laughter. It means learning to manage the inevitable stressors of life without letting them drain our emotional reserves. When we feel emotionally depleted, we become reactive, defensive, and less effective in our interactions and decision-making. Conversely, positive emotional energy creates a buffer against stress, enhances creativity, and fosters stronger connections with others, all of which contribute to greater performance and fulfillment. The third critical dimension is mental energy. This relates to our capacity for focus, concentration, and cognitive processing. In today's hyper-distracted world, our ability to concentrate deeply is perhaps our most valuable yet most threatened resource. Our brains are not designed for the constant barrage of interruptions and multitasking we often impose upon them. Each interruption, each switch in focus, incurs a cognitive cost, fragmenting our attention and diminishing the quality of our thinking. High performers are masters of concentration. They understand the power of dedicated, uninterrupted focus, what some call deep work. They structure their days to protect this focus, minimizing distractions and creating dedicated blocks of time for cognitively demanding tasks. This requires discipline. It means consciously resisting the urge to check email constantly, turn off notifications, and create an environment conducive to deep thought. It also involves recognizing the limits of our mental capacity and building in strategic breaks to allow the brain to rest and recharge. Just as physical muscles fatigue, so does our attentional capacity. Strategic breaks, even brief ones, allow us to return to tasks with renewed focus and clarity, ultimately achieving more in less time. Finally, and perhaps most profoundly, we have spiritual energy. This dimension relates to our connection to something larger than ourselves, our core values, our sense of purpose, and what truly gives our lives meaning. It's about passion, commitment, and contribution. When we are aligned with our deeply held values and feel that our efforts contribute to a meaningful purpose, we tap into a powerful and resilient source of motivation. This spiritual energy fuels our persistence through challenges, helps us maintain perspective during difficult times, and provides a deep sense of satisfaction that transcends external accomplishments. It's the why behind our efforts. Living in accordance with our values provides a compass, guiding our decisions and actions. Feeling passionate about what we do, whether it's our work, our relationships, or our contributions to the community, generates enthusiasm and resilience. Conversely, when we feel disconnected from our purpose, when our actions contradict our values, or when we feel our efforts lack meaning, we experience a profound drain on our energy, leading to cynicism, apathy, and a lack of motivation. Nurturing spiritual energy involves regularly connecting with what truly matters to you, clarifying your values, and seeking ways to express them through your actions. Understanding these 4 dimensions is the first step. The next is to grasp the fundamental framework that governs how we use and renew this energy, the energy cycle of high performance. This cycle involves a deliberate alternation between high-intensity effort and strategic recovery. True high performance isn't about maintaining a constant moderate level of output. It's about oscillating between periods of maximum effort and periods of complete recovery. Think of it like interval training for the body. You push hard, then you rest completely, allowing your body and mind to rebuild stronger. We are wired for this rhythmic oscillation. The modern tendency, however, is to flatten the curve, to push continuously at a moderate, unsustainable level, or worse, to push relentlessly without any real recovery. This leads inevitably to depletion and burnout. The energy cycle model encourages us to build up our energy reserves across all 4 dimensions, then expend that energy powerfully and fully during dedicated work periods, followed by deliberate, strategic recovery periods that allow us to replenish our reserves completely. This means pushing hard during focused work sessions and then consciously disengaging to recover during breaks, effectively switching off the demands of work to restore physical, emotional, and mental resources. So, how do we build the capacity for this kind of full engagement? It starts with recognizing the immense cost of not managing our energy. The chronic shortage we experience leads to decreased productivity, flawed decision-making, damaged relationships, health problems, and a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction. We sacrifice long-term well-being and effectiveness for short-term, often illusory gains in busyness. The antidote lies in creating power rituals. These are not just habits. They are highly specific, intentional routines designed to build and renew energy across the 4 dimensions. They are conscious acts of self-management. For physical energy, a power ritual might be a consistent morning routine involving hydration, stretching, and a short burst of exercise, or a dedicated wind-down routine before sleep. For emotional energy, it could be a daily practice of listing 3 things you're grateful for, or taking a few moments to consciously connect with a loved one. Mental energy rituals might involve a specific pre-work routine to clear your mind, establishing clear rules for managing email and phone notifications, or scheduling short distraction breaks for focused work. Spiritual energy rituals could include journaling about your core values each week, spending time in nature, or engaging in activities that connect you to your sense of purpose. The key is specificity. Define exactly what you will do, when, where, and how. These rituals become non-negotiable commitments, anchors in the chaos of daily life that ensure you are consistently refueling your energy reserves. Central to the energy cycle and the effectiveness of power rituals is the concept of strategic breaks. We often view breaks as unproductive time, something to be minimized. However, breaks are precisely when the crucial work of recovery happens. They are not a sign of weakness or laziness, but an essential component of sustained high performance. The key is to make breaks strategic. This means moving beyond simply stopping work to actively engaging in activities that promote renewal across the energy dimensions. A mental break might involve closing your eyes and focusing on your breath for a minute, or stepping away from your desk for a short walk. A physical break could involve some light stretching or getting a healthy snack. An emotional break might involve calling a friend or listening to uplifting music. The duration and type of break should correspond to the intensity of the preceding effort. Shorter, more frequent breaks are often more effective than longer, less frequent ones, especially for tasks requiring sustained mental focus. By deliberately incorporating these recovery periods, we allow our physical, emotional, and mental systems to reset, preventing the buildup of fatigue and enabling us to return to our tasks with greater capacity and renewed intensity. We must actively challenge and resist the pervasive cultural pressure to embrace more, faster. This relentless drive often masquerades efficiency for mere busyness. True productivity isn't measured by the sheer volume of activity, but by the quality and impact of that activity. Working longer hours without adequate recovery doesn't lead to better results. It leads to diminishing returns, increased errors, and eventual burnout. By shifting our focus to energy management and embracing the cycle of high-intensity effort followed by strategic recovery, we can achieve more with less stress. This means learning to say no to demands that drain our energy unnecessarily, protecting our focus, and prioritizing activities that build our capacity across all 4 dimensions. It requires a conscious effort to step off the treadmill of perpetual motion and instead move with intention and rhythm. Reconnecting with purpose is the ultimate source of resilience and motivation needed to sustain this energy management approach. When we are clear about our values and understand the why behind our efforts, we are better equipped to navigate challenges and make the necessary commitments to our power rituals. Purpose provides the emotional and spiritual fuel to push through difficult times and the motivation to prioritize self-care. It transforms obligations into opportunities and efforts into meaningful contributions. Without this connection, managing energy can feel like just another task on the to-do list. With it, it becomes an empowering way to live a more vibrant, effective, and fulfilling life. Purpose acts as a buffer against the inevitable setbacks and pressures, reminding us why the effort is worthwhile. Implementing this shift requires a practical, incremental approach. Start with a self-assessment. Honestly evaluate your energy levels across the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions. Where are you feeling the most depleted? What are the biggest energy leaks in your life? Identify specific times, situations, or habits that drain you. Then, begin introducing change incrementally. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Choose 1 or 2 specific power rituals that address your most pressing energy needs and commit to practicing them consistently. Perhaps it's a simple 5-minute meditation in the morning, a commitment to drinking water consistently, or scheduling a 15-minute walk during lunch. Consistency is far more important than intensity when establishing these new routines. Build momentum by succeeding with small, manageable changes. Be prepared for obstacles. Old habits are powerful, and the demands of modern life will constantly try to pull you back into old patterns. External pressures, lack of perceived time, and even self-doubt can get in the way. Anticipate these challenges and develop strategies to overcome them. Remind yourself of your purpose. Recommit to your rituals. Seek support from others if needed. Remember that setbacks are part of the process. The key is to learn from them and get back on track rather than abandoning the effort altogether. Celebrate small victories along the way to reinforce the new behaviors. Ultimately, the goal is to integrate these principles into a sustainable way of living and working. Managing your energy across all 4 dimensions, embracing the cycle of effort and recovery, and anchoring your efforts in a clear sense of purpose will lead to profound transformation. You'll find yourself able to accomplish more, make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and experience greater overall well-being. You'll feel more resilient in the face of adversity, more focused in your efforts, and more connected to what truly matters. This isn't about achieving a perfect, burnout-free existence. Challenges and stress are inevitable. It's about building the capacity to navigate those challenges effectively, to perform at your best when it counts, and to do so in a way that is sustainable and life-affirming. In conclusion, the path to sustained high performance and genuine fulfillment lies not in the relentless management of time, but in the intentional cultivation and strategic renewal of energy. By understanding and nurturing your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual energy sources, and by embracing a rhythmic cycle of intense effort followed by deliberate recovery, you can break free from the cycle of depletion and burnout. You can unlock a higher level of effectiveness, resilience, and satisfaction in every aspect of your life. This approach requires conscious commitment and the development of specific power rituals, but the rewards, achieving your potential while living a more balanced, vibrant, and meaningful life, are immeasurable. It's time to stop chasing the clock and start harnessing the power within.